The wind tasted of ice and secrets. It clawed at my exposed skin, a relentless, biting whisper that promised nothing but pain and the endless white of the Arctic. The world was reduced to shades of gray, the steel sky pressing down, the frozen ocean a rippled canvas of muted silver, and the distant, jagged teeth of glaciers chewing on the horizon. A single, flickering sodium lamp cast a sickly yellow glow on the helipad, its fragile light a defiant stand against the overwhelming darkness. I pulled my collar tighter, the thick fur doing little to quell the tremor that ran through me. The helicopter was late. Or maybe it was early. Time had lost all meaning in this desolate place, a landscape that felt older than memory itself. The air hung thick with anticipation, a palpable tension that resonated deep within my bones. Each gust of wind carried the echo of a distant howl, a mournful cry that spoke of loneliness and the raw, untamed power of the north. My breath plumed out in front of me, a fleeting cloud that vanished as quickly as it appeared, a reminder of my own ephemeral existence in this unforgiving realm. I scanned the horizon again, searching for any sign, any break in the monotonous gray. The silence was deafening, broken only by the rhythmic creaking of the ice beneath my boots, a sound that felt like the earth itself groaning under the weight of centuries. Then, a flicker. A distant pulse of light, growing steadily stronger. The rhythmic thrum of rotors cut through the silence, a mechanical heartbeat that promised salvation or, perhaps, something far more sinister. The helicopter emerged from the swirling mist, a dark silhouette against the pale sky, a metal bird descending from the heavens. As it drew closer, I could make out the faded insignia on its side, a symbol I recognized but couldn't quite place, a ghost of a memory buried deep within the recesses of my mind. My heart pounded in my chest, a frantic drumbeat against the backdrop of the Arctic's desolate symphony. The scent of kerosene and salt permeated the air as I stepped onto the helicopter, the rumble of the engine vibrating through my very being. The pilot, a man whose face was etched with the lines of countless Arctic winters, gave me a curt nod, his eyes holding a depth of knowledge that both intrigued and intimidated me. He didn't speak, and I didn't expect him to. In this place, silence was a language of its own, a way of communicating without revealing too much. We rose into the air, the helipad shrinking beneath us, becoming a mere speck in the vast, white wilderness. As we flew further inland, the landscape transformed. The barren, windswept plains gave way to towering mountains of ice, their peaks shrouded in mist, their valleys carved by ancient glaciers. I pressed my face against the cold glass, mesmerized by the raw, untamed beauty of this frozen world. It was a landscape that both repelled and attracted, a place of immense danger and unparalleled wonder. And then I saw it. A dark, angular scar on the pristine white canvas, a hidden fortress nestled deep within the heart of the mountains. The base. My destination. The memory hit me like a physical blow, a sudden, overwhelming wave of emotion that threatened to drown me. The smell of antiseptic and stale coffee, the hum of fluorescent lights, the echoing footsteps in the sterile corridors. The faces, young and eager, filled with a naive idealism that would soon be shattered by the harsh realities of this place. Sarah. Her laughter, bright and infectious, the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about her research, her unwavering belief in the power of science to change the world. We were inseparable, two bright stars orbiting the same burning sun. We shared secrets whispered in the dead of night, dreams of a future where our work would make a difference. I remember the day we found it, the anomaly buried deep within the ice, a signal that defied all known laws of physics. The excitement, the adrenaline, the feeling that we were on the verge of something truly extraordinary. We worked tirelessly, fueled by caffeine and a shared passion, deciphering the complex code, piecing together the puzzle. The long hours blurred into a single, continuous stream of data, calculations, and theories. We were so close, so tantalizingly close to unlocking its secrets. Then, the darkness. The sudden, inexplicable shutdown of the system. The flashing red lights, the blaring alarms, the chaos that erupted around us. Sarah's scream, a piercing cry that still echoed in my nightmares. And then, nothing. Just a void, a blank space in my memory, a hole that could never be filled. I woke up days later, disoriented and confused, with no recollection of what had happened. They told me it was an accident, a malfunction, that Sarah was gone. But I knew, deep down, that there was more to it than they were letting on. The memory was fragmented, distorted, but the feeling remained, a lingering sense of unease, a conviction that something terrible had happened, something that they wanted to keep hidden. The helicopter banked sharply, descending towards the base. The steel doors, camouflaged against the surrounding ice, slid open, revealing a cavernous hangar bathed in artificial light. As we touched down, I felt a surge of adrenaline, a mixture of fear and anticipation. I was back. After all these years, I was finally back, ready to confront the ghosts of my past, ready to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. The pilot turned to me, his eyes unreadable. "Welcome home," he said, his voice a low, gravelly rumble. The words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken meaning. Home. This desolate, frozen wasteland. This place of secrets and lies. This place where Sarah died. The hum intensified, a low thrumming that vibrated in my teeth. Anya gripped my hand tighter. We were nearing the core, the source of the signal. The air grew thick with anticipation, with the scent of ozone and something else, something metallic and ancient. We rounded a final corner, and the sight that greeted us stole the air from my lungs. The chamber was vast, impossibly large, carved deep within the ice. At its center, suspended by thick cables that disappeared into the ceiling, pulsed a sphere of pure, shimmering energy. It crackled with power, throwing off arcs of blue light that danced across the frozen walls. It was beautiful, terrifying, and undeniably alien. Guards, clad in the same sterile white uniforms, stood motionless around the sphere, their faces blank, their eyes vacant. They were puppets, controlled by the signal, their humanity stripped away. And standing before them, bathed in the eerie glow, was General Volkov. He didn't acknowledge our presence, his gaze fixed on the sphere, his lips moving in silent communion. Anya surged forward, pulling me with her. "Father!" she cried, her voice echoing in the cavernous space. Volkov didn't react. He remained locked in his trance, a conduit for the alien energy. Anya tried again, louder this time, pleading. Still nothing. Desperation etched itself onto her face. She reached out, her hand trembling as she approached him. That's when the sphere pulsed, bathing the chamber in an intense light. The guards jerked, their movements becoming erratic. Volkov's head snapped back, his eyes widening in pain. A guttural scream ripped from his throat, a sound that clawed at my soul. Then, just as suddenly, it stopped. He slumped forward, his body lifeless. The sphere dimmed, the pulsing subsided, and the humming faded into a low, mournful drone. Anya screamed, a sound of pure, unadulterated anguish. She rushed to his side, cradling his head in her lap, tears streaming down her face. He was gone. Just like that. Consumed by his ambition, a sacrifice to the alien god he sought to control. I stood frozen, watching the scene unfold, my mind reeling. The weight of what we had done, what we had witnessed, crashed down on me. We had stopped the signal, but at what cost? Anya had lost her father, I had lost my everything. The mission, the purpose, the naive hope that we could somehow make a difference. It all felt hollow, meaningless. As Anya sobbed, clutching her father's lifeless body, I knew that this moment would forever be etched into my memory, a scar that would never fade. The silence in my small apartment is thick, suffocating. The hum of the refrigerator mocks me, reminding me of the constant, oppressive drone of the base. I haven't slept properly in weeks, haunted by images of the frozen chamber, the pulsing sphere, Volkov's lifeless eyes. I tried to lose myself in work, poring over satellite images, analyzing data, searching for any sign of renewed activity. But it's a futile exercise. The mission is over. The base is sealed. The world believes the incident was contained, a tragic accident. But I know the truth. I know what lurks beneath the ice, waiting, dormant but not defeated. Anya. I haven't spoken to her since that day. She disappeared into the labyrinthine corridors of the intelligence community, swallowed by the same system that consumed her father. I tried to reach out, but my calls went unanswered, my emails bounced back. I imagine her now, a ghost in the machine, driven by vengeance, consumed by grief. I wonder if she blames me. If she sees me as the one who pulled the trigger, the one who robbed her of her father. Sometimes, late at night, I find myself staring at the ceiling, listening to the wind howl outside my window. I imagine it's the same wind that whips across the Arctic tundra, the same wind that carries the secrets of the base, the whispers of the dead. I wonder if Volkov's spirit still roams those frozen halls, trapped between worlds, a prisoner of his own ambition. And I wonder if, one day, the sphere will awaken again, and the signal will return. The guilt is a constant companion, a weight that never lifts. I replay the events in my mind, searching for a different outcome, a way to have saved Volkov, to have spared Anya the pain. But there is none. The past is immutable, a frozen landscape of regret. All that remains is the present, a desolate wasteland of loneliness and despair. I raise my glass of cheap whiskey, the amber liquid swirling in the dim light. A toast to the dead, to the lost, to the secrets that lie buried beneath the ice. And to the hope that, somehow, we can find a way to live with the scars that they left behind. The ice groaned, a mournful symphony echoing the ache in Anya's bones. She watched Dmitri, silhouetted against the ethereal glow emanating from the reactor room, his shoulders slumped with a weariness that mirrored the base itself. He turned, his face etched with a grim understanding. "It's done," he said, his voice barely a whisper above the hum of the failing generators. "The failsafe is engaged. The reactor, it will shut down completely." Relief washed over Anya, a fleeting wave against the encroaching dread. The immediate threat was neutralized, the catastrophic meltdown averted. But the victory felt hollow, tainted by the sacrifices made and the uncertain future looming. "What now?" she asked, the question hanging in the frigid air. Dmitri walked towards her, his boots crunching on the ice-covered floor. He stopped a few feet away, his gaze fixed on the swirling snow outside the observation window. "No," he said. "We wait." The waiting was agonizing. The base, once a hive of activity, fell into an eerie silence, punctuated only by the creaking of the ice and the rhythmic thump of their own hearts. The emergency lights flickered, casting long, distorted shadows that danced across the walls, transforming familiar corridors into menacing labyrinths. Food and supplies dwindled. Hope, like the dwindling power, began to fade. Days blurred into weeks. The radio remained silent, a constant reminder of their isolation. Anya found herself drawn to the observation window, mesmerized by the endless expanse of white. She saw the aurora borealis dance across the sky, a celestial ballet of vibrant colors that seemed to mock their confinement. Beauty in the face of oblivion. One evening, as the aurora painted the sky in hues of emerald and sapphire, Dmitri joined her at the window. He held a small, intricately carved wooden bird in his hand. "My grandfather made this," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "He was a fisherman. He believed that every bird carries a piece of the sky within it." He held out the bird to Anya. "Take it," he said. "Maybe it will bring us some luck." Anya took the bird, its smooth surface cool against her palm. She closed her eyes, imagining the vast, open sky, the warmth of the sun on her face, the taste of freedom. Suddenly, a faint hum vibrated through the floor. They exchanged a look of disbelief. Dmitri rushed to the radio room, Anya following close behind. He frantically adjusted the dials, his face illuminated by the flickering screen. A crackling voice filled the room, barely audible above the static. "Base, do you read? This is Rescue Team, repeat, Rescue Team." Tears streamed down Anya's face. Relief, pure and overwhelming, washed over her, nearly buckling her knees. They were not forgotten. They were not alone. Dmitri grabbed the microphone, his voice trembling with emotion. "This is Arctic Base 7, he said. "We read you. We are here." The rescue came swiftly, a blur of flashing lights and muffled voices. As they were airlifted from the base, Anya looked back at the desolate landscape, the abandoned facility a dark scar on the pristine white. She clutched the wooden bird in her hand, a tangible reminder of their ordeal, of the sacrifices made, of the resilience of the human spirit. Looking out at the dawn breaking over the horizon, Anya realized that the Arctic had not only tested them, but had also revealed something profound within them. It was not just a frozen wasteland but a mirror reflecting their inner strength, their capacity for hope, and their enduring connection to each other. The ice held secrets, but it also held the promise of a new beginning. The journey had been brutal, but it had forged a bond between Anya and Dmitri that would last a lifetime, etched in their memories like the stark beauty of the Arctic landscape. The bird, a symbol of hope and freedom, reminded her that even in the darkest of times, the sky, and the possibility of flight, remained within reach.